When the trend is super strong, we want to just maximize on it by riding the momentum, right? Don't fight it by trying to call the bottom of a bearish move or call the top of a bullish move. Just keep it simple, follow VWAP, and you'll be a lot happier at the end of the day. That's what we did today, and I also want to take a look at last week's trades because today's trading was very, very similar, and that's why, going back to that, I was able to just get back into the flow and take a nice setup. So this was today's short after a strong sell-off at the open. Clearly, sellers are in control on these type of momentum days when we get a break of that open range low. All right, if you've seen any videos, I'll always say I don't like to chase the first break of open range low. It often doesn't run. Well, when there's this much momentum, it's going to run. And today's one of those days that by this point, or maybe even anywhere down here, we could definitely say, yeah, there's a lot of momentum behind this thing. I don't know if we'll get that pullback for a double break, right? But I did it last week, or I thought about it last week, and I thought about it again today. Just something in me, maybe you guys as well, of trying to buy it because, well, now it's too bearish. I can't sell it down here because it's just so low. It normally doesn't keep going this far. That let me try to buy it back up and try to call that bottom and time when the sellers are going to disappear. That's so much harder to do. That why do we want to overcomplicate things? Where I'd much rather take a short, lose, because then I can look back on that and saying, yeah, you were riding the trend underneath VWAP. Buyers just somehow stepped in. So that's poor timing. But if I sold it and I won, yeah, makes sense. Sellers are in control. Okay, here we go. But I didn't just chase it at the bottom saying, well, let me just break my rules and sell it anywhere and hope this keeps on running. Just having the patience to sit on my hands, not long it, and look for the next best short opportunity, which comes after a pullback, right? So we get a nice strong pullback close to New York VWAP, and we get a break of low a day VWAP. Okay, finally, sellers back in control. Let's go make a new low a day. Now, it's at this point to the left here that you could say, I would want to buy it, right? Oh, there's a strong take maybe, right? We didn't make a new low a day there, or the failed break of low a day VWAP, and now buyers are in again. There's the time we're going to go higher. It does for like, what, 4 points, 5-10 minutes, and then what happens? Sellers just quickly step right back in. So keep it simple and just follow the shorts. Now, this is on Friday. If you go back to last week, Wednesday, something just sounded familiar and looked familiar while we were on stream this morning. If you go to last Wednesday, my trading, and we look at the shorts there, pretty similar. Very strong momentum. Same idea of this first break of open range low. She ran and letting this pullback come in, and I thought about buying it there because, oh, wow, look, it's slowing. Finally, I could buy it back up. Why am I doing that? Keep it simple. Just wait for a lower day VWAP break, and you sell it back down. And I even did that again right after, saying, okay, now's the time it's going to move higher. No, just sell it again. Just keep on selling it until you lose, and then once there's buyers in control, then we'll reassess things, right? So that's what I was proud of last week, catching myself of trying to do something stupid and just doing the simple thing of riding trend, and I'm pleased with doing it today. Very easy to want to get chopped up in the longs for no reason other than boredom of, oh, I can't sell it now. I want to just get in something, so let me try to buy it, right? When there were short opportunities. Another thing on this short, there's the same markets we just took a look at. Another thing on these shorts, because after that strong move down, there was still potential for gas in the tank, so you're not fearful that we're just going to be done for the day. That if you turn on this initial balance, right, we'll turn off the open range. If you look at the initial balance, this red line, the first hour of the day, notice how that strong push down set the IB, but it actually didn't break either side yet. And we know we're probably going to break out of this range at some point today, right? And clearly sellers are in control. So if you go over here to Edgeful and check out the initial balance report, you can see on Fridays, the chance of a no break, only 4% of the time in the last 6 months. So only one Friday in the past 6 months have we just never broken out of either side. So we know we're probably going to get out of this range at some point. So let me go try to go get that short to the low side. So we get a break of my lower day view up. This is my trade, right? And a clear target is that IB low because that report is telling me we at least get to there to break the IB, right? So we do break the initial balance low. We do have a single break on the day. Now, what happened the rest of the day? Really nothing. Pretty much just sideways. Ran out of gas. But that report was telling me we at least want to get to the IB low to break it. Anything past that, who knows, right? So all it wanted to do was just fulfill that stat and then play around with that level and be done for the day. So that's why you want to set it also as a clear target because we don't know how much further through it wants to run. In this case, not at all. So make sure you check that out as well as lining up your targets for the day, as well as which direction you should be looking at those targets. But I think the big lesson on today is just, right, keeping it simple, not trying to do too much or overcomplicate things and get the coolest looking trade of buying it at the bottom. There's that. but also just the importance of markups. As this was progressing throughout the morning, I recognized that this was a strong momentum day, and I felt like we had one pretty recently. And I went back real quick to my TradeZilla, and it was just a week ago, and it was that Wednesday we went over. When, yeah, strong momentum, these are the days where sometimes we want to capitalize on them, right? Because you go back to that last Wednesday one, and I made a video on it. I capitalized on the trend. That's the wrong one. That's this Wednesday. If you go to last Wednesday, I went 4 for 4, maximizing on the trend, $2,800, where I could have potentially maybe done something stupid and actually try to call the bottom. Instead of making 2,800, I'm taking losses for no reason. And then I missed the trending moves, right? So same thing today, didn't maximize quite as much, $800, but it's a Friday. If I make my money early, I'm out of there. I do not care what it does the rest of the day. Top off a nice week, also finishes the month, so that's what's good about that as well. But just the importance of markups, recognizing what you do well, when your thoughts come in, what did you think about, how did you act on those impulses? Hopefully not. Hopefully a lot of the time you'll recognize, why do I want to buy it down here? Right? What is it in me that wants to buy it and get the tougher trade? Rather than just take the simple, boring one of, yes, sellers are back in, I'm going to sell this for a new low. Why wouldn't I? It's been all sellers today. Right? Not overly complicated, nothing crazy, nothing exciting. And to be honest, it's the easier trade just because when sellers step back in, what do you get? 5 minutes, new low, straight flush, you're out of the trade. So you have to wait an hour and a half, but you're in the trade for 5 minutes. Those are the trades I like rather than selling it and then just sitting through uncertainty and drawdown, hoping for another move down, right? So make sure you check out the VWAP course. It's also posted on AceFX TV. You can get your first month for free. If you just use code FIRST, you'll get access to this full strategy, as well as the live streams where we take these trades, right? Here's the flush there with Tanner, Lawrence, and Randy. So make sure you check that out. DM me if you have any questions or you want any updates to the course. I am doing one, but what would you guys want to see in it specifically that you haven't seen on these videos as much or you want to hear more about? But I appreciate you guys tuning as always. Make sure you tune into streams as well. Let's keep trading simple, keep trading with the trend, and I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.